Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Actions have consequences, right? Right. Is it across the board or is it just preferential? So can we, subtract or avoid consequences? No. The law of nature is of such a way that our actions will have consequences. If you do something, will have a consequence somewhere. The problem is certain people are above this kind of not that they will not have consequences. Their consequences, negative consequences, will not be punished. That means they will not be accounted for. That means they can make mistakes how much they want. They will not be accountable. Now that's not right. We got here this person called Greta Thunberg. I think she's an adult right now. I think she's 19 or something. But she was, from what I read, when she started saying stupid stuff, she was a minor, and from what I read, she had some she's a troubled child with some diagnostics. I didn't give her the diagnostics. She got him from her medics, and there are mental issues. It's okay. Well, some people have that. I understand that. But on the other hand, she made some statements. She is, an advocate for, global warming and fight it and so on. Okay, all right, that's nice. That's nice. Even though you don't know shit about the subject because you're a child. But anyway, some people use you. No problem with that one, unfortunately. Shame on those guys who use the child that doesn't even know, what's north, south, east, west. But whatever, doesn't matter nowadays. You're just a hateful person, and that's it. Right? Right. For stating the obvious. Now, what happened? I know that freedom of speech allows you to say almost everything, but I know this little thing that you can't create panic. If you create panic through your speech and certain things, happen or not even happen, you're not supposed to. So really, there are some limitations about panic. It's I think about destroying someone's how do you call him, character, denigrating his character in public, and then it's libel, I think, laws, and then it's another one when you threaten. So that's about it. Threaten violence, right? Or then the other one is creating panic, and the other one is destroying someone's character in public and so on, blah blah blah. These are basically the ones that are the general one. I mean, hate speech. I don't know about it. I can consider hate speech whomever tells me something. So that's very subjective. Now we have Greta Thunberg, and she made some statements along with other scientists, politicians, and so on. And the statements were made that the world will end if we don't act, and the world will end by then and by then and by then, which that's creating panic. Because if I say the world will end tomorrow, what are you going to do? You get in panic, especially if you have authority or at least a platform to say this kind of BS. So what happened with this kid in her, her level is a kid. But anyway, she's just used by others. That's my problem with this. Russia Today, 12th of March. Greta Thunberg deletes end of the world tweet. So she did it as a kid. She did that, and probably she was very much supported by some adults. The climate campaigner claimed in 2018 that humanity had until this year to prevent its doom. All right, well, you can say, well, she's irresponsible. She was a child. She was taken very serious with that, how dare you BS. Remember that one? So Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg has deleted a 2018 tweet in which she shared a warning that climate change, and I'm quoting, will wipe out all of humanity unless fossil fuels were abolished by 2023. Well, it didn't end because they were not abolished, correct? Correct. In the tweet, Thunberg quoted a top climate scientist as saying that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. We didn't stop using them and nothing happened. Where is that top climate scientist? I would like to see him. Is he fired yet? And if not, why not? For the reasons I told you. It's preferential. So, it is unclear when the self-described autistic climate justice activist deleted the tweet, but its removal was first noticed by US conservative pundit Jack Posobiec on Saturday. The website her tweet linked to no longer exists. He said, "Hi Greta, why did you delete this?" A top climate, and I'm quoting, a top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out all humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. Well, the top, I want to know the top scientist. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Greta Thunberg, and I'm quoting, deleted this tweet because it exposes her for being a fraud. US conservative activist Brigitte Gabriel tweeted, "Make sure the entire world sees it." No, you expose yourself and say shit like I can say, well, you own it. You own it. Now, remember here, an inconvenient truth from 2006, which I watched when it came out. Former US Vice, and I had doubts then, a lot of doubts then. Vice President Al Gore declared that melting polar ice caps would lead to hundreds of millions of people being made refugees by 2013. What happened to Gore? He still has a name. He's still revered. He's still, oh, Mr. Gore. When his prediction looked set not to come true, his office called the date a ballpark one. I don't know what that is, but to me it's a BS kind of thing. So let's see here. I got this one from Fox News, published in 2019, in March 19th. 10 times experts, quote unquote, predicted the world would end by now. This article, you want to look at it if you want. And it says Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, while sending her Green New Deal, said that the world will end in 12 years if nothing is done to address climate change. All right, that's one. And it says here, 1, global warming will wipe nations off the face of the earth if climate change not addressed by year 2000. And you have here in 1989, the Associated Press relayed a warning from a UN official. Is he still alive? A senior UN environmental official said entire nations could be wiped off the face of the earth by rising sea levels if the global warming trend is not reversed by the year 2000. The official was Noel Brown, director of the New York office of the UN Environment Program, who added, and I'm quoting, shifting climate patterns would bring back 1930s Dust Bowl conditions to Canadian and US wetlands. Okay, well, nothing happened. It doesn't mean it could not happen in the future, but this guy created a panic. Why? Because probably he's dead already, and he knew he would not be held accountable or something. I mean, it's unbelievable. Now, Chernobyl may still be killing us, as book warns disaster might be behind global rise in cancer and disease. That no nation were wiped off the face of the earth as of 2019. However, those worried about warming caution that the UN official's prediction was nuanced. Nuanced. Mass starvation, nothing happened. Global fertilizing and dangerous as nuclear war. And the global cooling was once a worry to many, such as University of California at Davis professor Kenneth Watt, who warned that present trends would make the world 11 degrees cooler by year 2000. Is he still alive? What are the consequences? About twice what it would take to put us into an ice age. These are scientists, huh? Ice levels reveal a massive sunstorm hit Earth in ancient times, and it could happen again. The quote was dug up by George Mason University economist Walter E. Williams, who argues that there are so many apocalyptic predictions because, and I'm quoting, they have an agenda for more government control, Fear about the environment is a way to gain government control, end quote. Williams told Fox News. Communism and socialism, I'm quoting, have lost respectability, so it's been repackaged as environmentalism, he added. It's like the watermelons, green on the outside, red on the inside. Massive warming by the year 2000. The same UN official who predicted the loss of entire nations by the year 2000 also claimed the most conservative scientific estimate is that the Earth's temperature will rise 1 to 7 degrees in the next 30 years. But looking back from 2019, the temperature rose about half of a degree Celsius since 1989, according to NASA. Al Gore says 10 years are left in 2006. I covered already that BS. All right. Eve of Destruction, Doomsday Clock hovers at 2 minutes to midnight. This is Iron Maiden song, 2 minutes to midnight. Yeah. Yet Gore's critics point out that just a few years later, he bought an $8 million beachfront property near Los Angeles. Yeah, and the water is gonna... I wish the climate catastrophists practiced what they preached and sold me their beachfront property at a steep discount. Alex Epstein, author of The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels, told Fox News. Again, environmental catastrophe will cause, and I'm quoting, nuclear holocaust by the year 2000. Asteroid that killed the dinosaurs caused a mile-high tsunami around the Earth. No such disaster occurred. Mass extinction by 1995. This was in 1970. Senator Gaylord Nelson. Ancient Antarctic ice sheet collapse could cause a global flood. Again, these are, National Science Foundation quoted researcher Anthony Barowski at UC Berkeley, who said so far only 1 to 2% of all species have gone extinct in the groups we can look at clearly, so by those numbers it looks like we are not far down the road of extinction. Barnowski still expressed concern over a long time horizon, saying that 75% of species could go extinct in as little as 2 to 23 centuries. Well, I don't know. It's just, what can I tell you? These are the Gretas and all those. I'm not saying you should not be concerned or be conscious with the environment and just trash it, but I think that underneath all this moral posturing and scare tactics, I think there's a lot of money. That's what I think it is. And it's a lot of power. And there will be people that would charge other people for breathing. We're going to end up to that one. And you have this one, okay, when did you buy it? I don't know, let's say 3 years. 3 years ago, we have to charge you retroactively because of the carbon that was, or the environment that was hurt by building these things, by making these things. And what are you going to do? You pay for everything you got for the carbon, whatever, fingerprint over here, whatever. It's just no, as I said, it doesn't mean that we should not pay attention with what we do and be conscious about, cleaning after ourselves, cleaning and so on. But the idea that we are so important and so tough that we can save this and planet Earth, like we take care of it, that reminds me of a skit of George Carlin, that he talked about how arrogant we are as humans, thinking that we are going to save the world, the planet. Just watch that. George Carlin, Saving the Planet. That's a good one. So anyway, consequences for any of this? Consequence of these irresponsible people? It's like I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm just giving an example. I'm going tomorrow to a school and say something stupid over there. Oh, it's okay. In 3 days, something big, Santa Claus is going to come. How do you think it's going to happen? I'm going to be arrested on the spot. They're not going to wait for Santa Claus to come in 3 days, if you know what I mean. They're going to just get me right there. It's just, and she did not lose anything. Al Gore is still there. So that tells you what. And I like when they talk about the consensus, the scientific world, the scientific community's consensus. There's no consensus on that one. What are you talking about? It's consensus. And you hear people on the TV saying that, yeah, that's a consensus of that. Well, tell me, when was that little summit of all the scientists on this planet having the consensus? They all raised the hand, yes, I agree. Tell me, when was that discussed? How do you know that? You don't know it. It's impossible to know it. Why? Because you didn't talk with each and every scientist about that. So it's a BS. So when you hear someone says it's a consensus on something, or most people say, tell me how many. How do you know most? We are 7 billion, aren't we? What do you mean most? It's 6 billion? Do you have what research paper can you cite to support your BS? Or when I say, some people say, okay, tell me how many. But you say some. As 2, 3? How many do you know? And tell me, how do you know it? Oh, some people say that your statements are, controversial. You said some people? Yeah, you gotta know who are those some people. So who are they? They're gonna change the subject in a second. No, you tell me. You said this. Tell me how many. You said some. Your uncle, your brother, your lover. Is that what it is? 3 people? Can you give me a study? And the study tells me this or that? And even if you give me a study, you give me a study on a sample. A sample is you take 2,500 people from different strata, age groups, and so on, and you put them together and say, yeah, plus minus, this would be it. Okay, all right, the system works that way. But still, did you ask them all? Like when I hear these guys, oh, she's the most beautiful, the 2023, the most beautiful woman in the world is, I don't know, Gigi Babibi. I don't think so. How do you know that? Did we all vote for it? Or you just assume? You assume. You didn't ask me. So you didn't get my vote. So how in the hell? And like me, you didn't ask, I don't know, 7 billion other people you didn't ask. So, yeah, she's voted the most beautiful or most... When I was reading this, when I was like 18 or 19, 17, he's the most handsome guy or the most beautiful. What are you talking about? Who decided that? Who decided this? How do they know? Jesus Christ. First, it was that the question was when I was looking at the guy or the girl, I was like, that? I've seen better. So it's a preference thing. Did we vote for that? I wasn't asked. So anyway, Greta, she created panic. What if people would have, sacrificed their life saying, okay, now we're going to commit that because it's the end of the world. Greta said it in 5 years. Huh? What about that? What are the consequences? 0. So yeah, thank you very much. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.